So thank you everyone for attending our meeting about the Adult Learner Student Organization. I see that we've got about 11 people on this call. That's fantastic. We had 26 people RSVP for the event, so I'm hoping that we can engage even more folks moving forward. We don't have a whole lot of time for our meeting today. It's just 1 hour. So I have created an agenda for our meeting today. So I'd like to stick to this agenda pretty close. So I'll ask that when we do introductions that we keep it a little bit brief, knowing that we'll be able to get to know each other a little bit more in the future. So I'd like to start by introducing myself. My name is Chloe Lundeen. I'm the Adult Learner Liaison at Wayne State University. And I basically am here to support our students, to help adult learners create a sense of community here on campus, and to serve as your campus connection, connecting you with resources on campus, moral support, serve as sort of a peer mentor. Amber, could you introduce yourself?
Hi everyone, my name is Amber Neer, and I am the advisor with the Work Your Way Back program, adult learners, also some other administrative functions related to adult learners, returning students, things like that. So I'm excited to be here today and to see all of you and get this piece of our student org really started. And really, we want to put students in the driver's seat here. We're just here to help facilitate that. So it's nice to see everyone.
Absolutely. And then we have a couple of special guests here today. We have Carmelita and Jermaine, who are recent graduates of Wayne State, and some adult learner have participated in our adult learner programming in the past. If they are willing and able, I'd like them to give us a quick introduction and tell us a little bit about why they initially wanted to start a student group and how they're passing the baton now on to all of you.
Jermaine, if it's okay, I'll go first, if that's okay.
That's fine.
Hi, I'm Carmelita. I am a recent spring graduate with political science and peace and conflict studies major. I have a few loose ends to clean up before I receive that degree in my mailbox. And I wanted to start the student organization because, first of all, the thing I love about it is a no judgment zone. Excellent support and access to advisors. And one of the most important is respectful feedback on your journey, on your path to getting your degree. And I thought it was just, Jermaine and I got together and we talked about it. And we thought starting a support group and networking and have opportunities to just share with people on the same road that you're on. So it'll be very helpful going forward to have that type of circle at Wayne State University, because it gives us a unique opportunity to come back as adult students to complete our degrees. Thank you.
Hello, everyone. My name is Jermaine Perkis. Got to get my new introduction together now. Alumni fall of 2021 graduate out of College of Engineering, got a majored in construction management. And the main reason being part of this program was coming into as a transfer student, not really having community. And so getting the opportunity to go through the Work Your Way Back program, getting a chance to meet other students that were just coming back. A lot of students that was been in school, came back, left, came back. So having that kind of fellowship in that moment to kind of bond and grow. And so having the opportunity helped me stay focused, gave me that sense of community while I was going through those classes. Like you all know, it's get a little frustrating between semesters and classes. And so having this opportunity to partner with Carmelita and give the opportunity to be able to come back was a major part of me being able to assist anywhere I can and be able to share my story, be able to be inspiring to someone else is probably going through something or something similar. And so any way that I can, this is why we wanted to create the student organization, so we can be able to, as we continue to grow, we can always come back here to facilitate and help. And Chloe, you muted.
Thank you. And thank you both. I think I saw James Hearn enter. James, can you hear us? All right. Well, we'll move on to the next point here. Am I still sharing my screen?
Yes.
Okay, you can see the agenda. Okay, great.
Yes.
So just a couple of notes from our last meeting. We have had one student org meeting previous to this one where Carmelita and Jermaine were again present and sort of led the charge. Jermaine gave us a lot of tips on how to start a student organization at Wayne State since he has experience doing so. So I won't get into too many details except that we have yet to actually establish a official student organization on campus. So we need at least 2 registered students to start that. So we'll be looking maybe for some volunteers or people who are interested in spearheading that during this meeting. And so we'll need a president, and we will need 1 supporting person, whether they have a title like secretary, co-president, etc., or if they're just a member of the group. So that's all the notes I'll go into from our last meeting. Next, I'd really like to hear from each of you. And since we have a bit of a group, I'd like to go through and ask each of you to introduce yourself. I'd like to know what your name is, if you're a current student or if you plan on coming back. And then we've got a bit of an icebreaker question. So I'll ask you, what superpower would you have if you could have one? The next person will decide what the caveat would be. I can fly. Next person decides, but only into walls. This was a question from Amber, and I think that's a pretty good one. And actually, you know what? Instead of me picking folks, why don't we do popcorn? So I'll go first, and then I'll popcorn to someone, and I'll say, okay, Amber will be the next person, and she can decide what the caveat will be for me. So I'll start first. If I could have any superpower, my superpower would be to have the most precise and excellent hearing in the world. I'll popcorn to Amber.
I have to go between a couple different devices to make this happen. But you can only hear negative things that are said about you. That'd be the worst, right? If I could have any superpower, it would be a photographic memory. And I will popcorn to, let's see here. Sabrina, are you there?
I am Sabrina, and I am a current student, actually a sophomore in management and information systems. If I could have a superpower, I want to say I can fly, but that was already chosen. I didn't think that would be okay. The strongest woman. How about that? I will have extraordinary strength.
And Sabrina, what would be your caveat for Amber having photographic memory?
Photographic memory that only lasts 24 hours.
Nice. And Sabrina, would you popcorn to another participant, please?
Well, I'm going to popcorn to James Hearn, as he just popped up on my screen.
Okay, thank you, guys. Yeah, it took me a while to get on, but I'm here. I think I heard the question. If I can have a superpower, what would it be? I would choose invisibility. With the
Awesome.
ability, yeah. With the, can you imagine what you can see? I mean, find out by being invisible, what you can hear.
Yep.
Yeah. So
James, the second part of this little game is that you will decide like a caveat for the previous superpower. So Sabrina's choice would be to be the strongest woman. So a caveat to her. You could see here an example on the agenda.
caveat to super strength. I'm looking. So, okay, so visibility is not.
So here would be an example for Sandra.
Sure.
You're the strongest woman in the
Mhm.
world, but you can only pick up children.
Got you. Okay, you're the strongest woman in the world. What can you pick up? That would have been my answer, Chloe. I would have answered that.
Perfect. Would you popcorn to another participant,
Sure,
please?
sure. I'm gonna popcorn to the gentleman with the good smile. Jermaine, go ahead. You're mute. There you go.
Yes. Can you tell me your superpower again?
Mine's invisibility.
Okay, invisibility, but you can never give it back. It's with you forever.
Oh,
Oh, that's a good one.
good one.
That's a good one, Jermaine.
Um,
Oh,
and my superpower would be flash, speed. So yeah, and I will popcorn Sandra.
Sandra Black.
Yes.
Hello, I'm Sandra Black, and yes, I am a current student in the Mike Ilitch School of Business. I am studying management with a concentration in human resources. And what was your superpower again?
Flash, like speed.
Okay, so I would say that your caveat would be that you had super speed, except you could never get away from dogs. They could always catch you.
Oh, you getting big.
I'm hit. You bring your dog around.
My superpower would be the ability to turn back the hands of aging at will. To stop aging at will. Turn it on and off.
Awesome. Would you popcorn to someone?
I will popcorn Mark.
Hi, can you hear me?
Yep.
My name is Mark McCary. I'm a student in the School of Liberal Arts, and I'm credit-wise, I'm a senior, but I'm still finishing up my junior year. I have 30 credits left. And if I could have a superpower, I think it would be to be in more than one place at one time. And I'm sorry, Sandra, what your superpower was?
Sure, to have the ability to stop aging at will, turn it on and off, the aging process.
Okay, I think my caveat would be you can only do that after you turn 60.
Okay, Mark.
Let's see, I have to.
Oh, sorry, go ahead.
How about Carmelita?
Okay. Let's see. I think my superpower would be to always have a positive word for everyone. All the time. Only positive words that come out your mouth. And your superpower was to be, I'm sorry, would you tell me your superpower again?
That was to be in more than one place at one time.
I would say your caveat would be, you can only do that once a year.
Thank you so much.
I will popcorn to, how about Lloyd?
Lloyd, you're muted.
Thank you. Maybe that's my superpower, is remembering to unmute all the time.
That's a good one.
I'm Lloyd, a computer science student. I think I'm a junior. I am a junior. Part-time. It's kind of hard to keep track of what's happening when. Sorry, the superpower before we move positive words, and I'm going to say that everyone you say positive words to is just rude, though.
Oh.
All right, I'm sorry. I didn't have time to think. My superpower is going to be just not needing sleep.
You're funny, Lloyd.
Oh, I'm supposed to pick somebody. Let's see. Who has not? Sandra Cato is not a familiar sounding name.
Sandra, are you there? Two other folks that haven't gone yet are Denise and Catherine.
Catherine. Let's go with
Sure.
Catherine Ellison.
Sorry, I had computer issues.
Oh, okay.
Oh,
We'll
that's
do
all right.
Sandra then.
Back to you.
Okay. So my superpower would be to be able to speak any language in the entire world. And let's see, what was the negative aspect of?
So Lloyd, what did you say your superpower would be?
That I never need to sleep.
Right, no sleep.
Oh.
So
Okay, but when you do sleep, you would sleep for 1 month every year.
it's a good one.
And
That's a fair trade, I think.
Sandra, can you tell me if you are a current student?
Yes, I am a current student. I'm a junior and I do attend part-time because I work full-time. And I am in I believe it's called international relations.
Awesome.
Oh, and then I have to pick somebody.
So we've got Catherine and Denise left.
Okay, I'll pick Catherine.
Hi, I am a current student. I just returned to Wayne and I have emailed with Chloe and Amber. So it's nice to see you. If I had a superpower, I would stop all of the speeding drivers. And Sandra, I'm sorry, I forgot what your superpower would be.
I would be able to speak any language in the world.
Okay. You could speak any language only when you're ordering food. And so Denise is next.
Can you hear me? I'm sorry.
Yep, we can hear you.
Okay, my phone's stuck in safe driving mode. I was driving home when I first tuned in, so I can't turn on my video either. I am Denise Rogers, and I'm a current student. I just returned this semester. I also work at the university full-time, so I'm part-time as well, and I'm majoring in public health. The caveat to being able to stop speeding drivers would be that it can only happen on Sundays. And my superpower would be that I could remember everything necessary for school.
I like that. Who has a good caveat for Denise since she's the last one?
You remember it on Sundays, but you forget it on Monday through Friday.
That's only fair, right, Mark? All right, awesome. Well, thank you so much. Like I said, we're kind of short on time. I hope that we get a lot more opportunities to get to know each other more in the future. So now we're going to just go over a little bit of information, and I don't want to get bogged down in this, but just an overview of a creating a student org. Jermaine is our expert here on creating a student organization. So I just want to go over some of the requirements and procedures for creating a student organization. Is anyone else here familiar with starting a student organization at Wayne State? No. Okay. Great. Me either. And the process for doing so is always changing. So we will, whoever decides to take on a leadership role in addition to another person will go onto the Dean of Students office website called Get Involved. And we will basically submit a application that includes the name of the organization, a website, some information about us. One of the things that we'll really have to work hard on as a student organization will be creating bylaws as well as a vision. And that vision should illustrate how the organization will benefit the university. And I think the benefit of creating a strong adult learner org on campus is pretty apparent. So let that roll around in the back of your head a little bit as we move on and discuss our goals, etc. So I'm going to open it up to you because, like Amber said, this isn't about me. I'm here to support you in whatever way I can. Amber and I, as well as Jermaine and Carmelita. So I'd like to know what is your goal when you think about the student organization and how it could serve you and how you could serve the university? What are you thinking? Are you thinking about sort of a more political student organization where we are trying to make the university more friendly to adult students, creating policy or suggestions for policies? Or are we thinking more something social, or both? If anybody has any ideas, I'd love to hear them.
Chloe, this is Carmelita. I wanted to add, I think both. My thought originally on this was both. It's an all-inclusive environment for adult students. But because I'm no longer an undergrad student, I just wanted to contribute that. But I think just having one lane is just not enough for this large body of students that have so many different issues that may arise. And I think just having an all-inclusive organization would be very helpful.
Sure. Carmelita, would you say kind of your idea was that the organization would further the, what was I gonna say? Was your thought, so I'm thinking about how we can turn that into like an idea for a vision for the group. So it would be an organization to further just the views of the students who become a part of the organization.
Yes, because we have a strong adult council that Amber is leading. So she is drilling out policies that can drill down to the organization that can be worked on, or, you know, it can always increase to cover everything that may occur within an adult student's learning environment.
Sure. So this is a question that, you know, takes a bit of thought. So I am going to let a little bit of silence occur before moving on to something else, because I want people to think a little bit about.
Yeah.
Hi, this is Sabrina. I would say that I believe that it's kind of not necessarily a political type of thing, but I think an organization that kind of protects the rights of adult learners, because a lot of us have maybe children, other jobs, and other things. So kind of like the SDS, where you have special services, if that's needed, and kind of maybe intervene when you may have instructors who aren't sensitive to that. So I don't know if that would involve being connected to SDS as well, or just something specific for, you may have someone who doesn't necessarily have any special needs, or just somebody, or, to kind of intervene on our behalf. For having an organization for those purposes.
Fantastic idea.
Beautiful lady in every sense of the word.
I think what Sabrina brought up is a good idea. I'm an empty nester, but I did try going to school when, my kids were at home, and it's very difficult. And actually, I hadn't thought about joining an organization or even being part of one, but I think it's a good idea, because just interacting online with the students, they're all younger than me. And so I think that I stigmatize myself, thinking, oh, I'm older, they don't want to, I'm kind of nerdy or whatever, and they don't want to interact with me. But, so I think making people feel that, it's okay. And like Sabrina said, to have support for everyone.
Yes.
And I'll add a couple of things on there too. It's really fostering that community piece, because like what Catherine's saying is having that safe space to go to have that support, whether if it's for school, group study sessions, being able to leverage our resources within each other to better help each other. So if you're good in math, I can kind of have somebody I can have a conversation with to get some of that math tutoring and help. Or just having that stuff even after hours. Maybe some people are more available after 5 o'clock than they are at 10 in the morning. And so creating that space to be able to help each other, but also too to be the boots on the ground where we do have issues that maybe the 18-year-old, the 24-year-old may not have going to school. And so being able to say, okay, this is an issue that I'm seeing a lot of us are facing. Maybe we should raise the concerns and bring it up to the right people that we can be able to have a discussion about.
So Jermaine, maybe finding some common ground, like, oh, I'm having this issue. You know what? I'm having that issue too. And finding, okay, I'm not the only person that's facing this. And maybe together we can do something about it.
Absolutely.
Yes.
Awesome.
So I would add, if I could, even though I'm fairly tech savvy, tech changes quickly and a lot. And I was in class and there was an app being used that I was familiar with, but I don't move as quickly on some of the apps as younger people do. And it was a little bit embarrassing. And so it made me just kind of think about that kind of support for the different programs, the different, navigating, just like getting together and maybe having a session with somebody that can kind of help us navigate some of these technical situations that we might not be familiar with.
I think that's an awesome point too. And maybe, sharing the tip or creating a letter maybe that can be sent to professors. That's like, hey, if there's going to be any technology that's going to be used in the classroom, can you just tell me right now? So I can familiarize myself with it a little bit before class or something like that. Or we can hold like a training or something like that on common technologies that are used in the classroom sometimes.
Yeah, that'd be great. Cool. I know they send out the email so you can familiarize yourself with Canvas.
Right.
But until you're in the class and actually working within it, that can be intimidating. That comes kind of intuitive pretty quickly. But yeah, some of it, I've had students come into, I actually work in SDS, and I've had students come in that don't know how to use the iClickers even. Like, what is this thing? I don't know what this is. So, you know, anything like that where you're still getting the vocabulary and, you know, the nuances of being back in school after being out for a period of time.
Right. You know, when Sabrina was talking about maybe collaborating with SDS or kind of comparing what this group could do to something that SDS does, Student Disability Services, it made me think that the student organization is really helpful for me and Amber too when thinking about the sort of programming that we create for we have Tuesday talks, etc. This group I think could really help us determine what kind of programming we can organize on campus, not just for the student organization, but for students even if they're not involved. So like a technical training, or maybe even a visit from SDS to give us a presentation or something like that.
Yeah, sounds good.
And I totally agree. Because I even had, during my experience, even with some people that was helping out, a lot of people, we had Canva, especially switching over to during the pandemic, a lot of them couldn't even upload video. Or sometimes when you can't upload your video on Canvas, you got to try to figure out how to do it, or it's too big. How do you convert it? So those things will be a challenge, and you don't really don't want to ask the question because you feel like, ain't nobody got this problem. So, you know what I'm saying? So being able to be that assistant.
And, you know, I can tell you I'm teaching a class in the fall of I have quite a few 17-year-olds, 18-year-olds, and a couple of 19-year-olds, and I've gotten a lot of tech questions from them. So I think if we all knew that we're all struggling with these technical problems a little bit, each of us would feel a little bit less alone.
Might be getting ahead of ourselves, but something that came to mind was maybe we could have one of the younger students come in and talk to us and tell us whether we're like an alien being to them or whether we're kind of user friendly or just as unapproachable as the technology is. I think that might be useful. Maybe some of those conversations have already gone on, I don't know, but it'd be good. They'd be a little intimidated speaking to a group, but I think it would be a good experience for them.
Yeah, I love that idea, Mark. Intergenerational relationships are really important, I think, especially on a campus, to create community that is age diverse is awesome. So, you know, I have next on our agenda, our vision, brainstorming our vision, talking about maybe positions, maybe moving a little bit too fast since we're still kind of thinking about the things that we might want to pursue as an organization. But I'm wondering, just right now, kind of to take a temperature check, is there anybody feeling right now like, you know, I really want to take on a leadership role in this organization?
So I can say I'm curious, but I'm also a little nervous about overcommitting. So it'd be nice to know, like, if there was a way to measure time commitment so that we don't put ourselves into a situation where we have work and school, organization, and, you know, all these demands make it stressful to show up instead of enjoyable. So that would be if we could get some sort of gauge on what that kind of commitment looks like, that could help.
Absolutely.
And I can add to that one. I would say one is to keep it very simple and simplistic. It doesn't have to be something that's super well thought out and crazy, especially when you're just now getting started. I know when I was first creating IWEL organization on campus, a lot of it was just trying to understand exactly. I had a small group, it was like 7 of us. But 2 of us actually was on campus. And a lot of time we'll have small little meetup sessions. Depending on how our schedule was, like an hour or 2, just kind of get an understanding. And then we kind of just brainstorm a bunch of like how we're doing now, kind of jotting some ideas down, formulating our sentences. And it takes time. So it's not like we need to get it done this month here or this month too. I mean, like within 2 months. So again, just setting out small steps, small goals, and then just checking them off as you go, especially using the application as a way to form your groups. So like the first part is like a vision, we're gonna talk vision, or the logo, or the website domain, or all those things, or you start getting into the diversity aspect. And a lot of stuff too, Wayne State will refer you back to their code book, student book, so you can be able to get some to help with the bylaws. So a lot of it, I say, it's not really a very demanding role. Only when it started, I would say when it started getting demanding is when you start trying to put programming together, because you need more organization, people, and you're trying to do all of this. But when you're first getting started, it's really just having those conversations like we're doing now, and just kind of jotting those ideas down and formulating those sentences. A lot of times you already dealing with those issues every day while you're going to class, and you just making a note in your notebook, like, okay, when I talk, this is something I want to probably bring into. So that's the only way the easiest way I can say when going through the process. It took me I started in October, and we didn't get the official paperwork until about March. And that was just us trying to figure it out until we got going. But once you start submitting the paperwork, it's like January, February. It took about a month or 2 to kind of go through and making the adjustments, and then it was approved. So it's not a complicated process, if that helps.
Absolutely. Thank you for that insight.
Yeah, thank you.
Anyone else thoughts on leadership, or, we talked a little bit about our feelings on time commitment.
So because I was driving and I'd only heard you briefly talk about it, could you explain a little bit more what those 2 roles might look like and what they might consist of?
Yeah. So I didn't get into that, so you didn't miss that at all. And, Jermaine may be able to give us a little bit more insight into this, but I think that basically like a role of president, a role of secretary, etc., it can kind of be what we want it to be, with president being our main touch point for the university. This is the person that will be listed as the president on our organization site on Get Involved. It might be somebody who folks reach out to if they want to join the organization. There may be some admin tasks there. And I'm here to support you from the admin side as well. So, I really think that that's something that we should talk about, and I'm interested to know what Jermaine has to say.
Nope, yeah, you're right. Especially in the beginning, the most important role is really just being the main point of contact. I know DUSO do have a lot of meetings they have that kind of help you too, because they go through a whole orientation for all student organizations to kind of get prepared on the school year or during the school too as well. So you have those, so you'll make sure you want to kind of participate in those, kind of learn the ropes of how campus organizations work, student organizations. 2, you can also partner with a lot of other student organizations as well to kind of just to get your name out there. So like I had Black Student Union. I asked them, hey, got the organization I'm getting ready to get started. You mind if I take 10 to 15 minutes during y'all meeting to kind of share what we're working on? So it's like you kind of having those kind of conversations with different people, just being the main point of contact. A lot of the contact is going to come to you just because you are the president and people are going to do it. But again, I was just one or 2 man crew, But you have more people with you, then you'll be able to kind of facilitate and help. And again, like I said, once you start to get into creating the bylaws, you will start being able to see what roles or the workload, all that goes entail once you start getting to that. But outside that, as the beginning part of it is just making sure that you kind of like raise your hand and say, hey, I'm the spokesperson for the student organization, and kind of facilitating that way. When they know who to contact, they need to make any adjustments or anything like that in the beginning part of it, you're the person kind of in that role. And if I'm talking too fast, let me know.
No, not at all.
No, you're not. I was
thank you,
just listening.
Jermaine.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Sabrina, I see your hand is raised.
Yes, I have, my question is, since Carmelita and the other gentleman that just got done talking,
Jermaine.
are they going to, can you hear me?
Yep.
Okay.
Yes.
So are you guys going to have some sort of role with the organization to kind of walk us through, hold our hand through this process?
I'm sorry, you kind of broke up on my end. I didn't hear
Okay.
that last part.
Are you guys going to have a role in the organization? I know you are graduates, but is that going to be are you guys going to play maybe an advisory role and help guide us through this process?
Yes, we're more like a resource to be able to kind of, like I said, navigate through these processes. If you have any extra questions, just the whole part of the process, like even going through like the bylaws, like we're here to kind of just wherever the support you need, to making sure you guys can kind of stand on your own and kind of like, okay, we got it now.
Okay,
we're
so
just here
are
to be
you
able to help anyway.
are you doing grad school at Wayne State, or are you just moved pretty much on since you got your degree?
No,
Well,
currently. Oh, go ahead, Carmelita. I'm gonna let you talk.
I'm sorry, Jermaine. Go ahead and finish. Go ahead.
No, I was just gonna say no. Once I graduated, I'm a community organizer, so I'm always either working with Wayne State or working with things around the city and
Okay.
community wise. So I'm
Okay.
always around.
That's good to know.
I was just gonna say, sure, we'd love to be a supportive part of the organization. I was just emailing James as I was mentioning that we wanted to work with him on the alumni organization that they're
Nice.
also creating. So yes, we'll be around and we'll be on the same many steps as you guys as a new organization, as an alumni association for the Warrior Way Back program.
Wonderful.
And Sabrina, I just want to make the point too that I will be here for administrative tasks if we need someplace to meet on campus, if we need supplies, a place to present, etc. I'm here for that, and I will be what you want me to be. I can't head the organization because I'm not an undergrad student, but all the other things that I can assist with, I'm happy to do that if we need to create surveys or print off flyers or whatever. So we're coming up on the end of our meeting here. So I just want to, I have failed to check the chat here. So I'm just going to read a couple of things. I am going to share a poll with you all really quickly to see if we can decide on a next meeting time. And I also would like you all to think about maybe some way that we can stay in touch in the interim before our next meeting time. So let's see here. Amber shared, also think about how we, what we want the student org from the student org is different than or complements what we're already offering through our adult learner office. So we offer programming right now. We're working on creating an adult learner lounge that will be here in the University Advising Center. So that will be right outside of Amber and I's offices. So we will be right here if you need us. We'll have coffee and a couple other things. I don't want to get too ahead of myself because this is something that we're just working on right now, but I imagine it as a space where folks can study, etc. And maybe we can have meetings there as well. Let's see, another message. And then Amber also said our Adult Learner Council is working on a number of initiatives, and I would love to see the student group inform some of those priorities. For example, we want to provide suggestions to faculty on how to make syllabi more adult learner friendly. So let's think about what we'd like to see as well. And she went on to say, I think it's tricky to think about managing this on top of work, life, school, but it sounds like this is gonna take whatever time we want to dedicate to it. Awesome. Let's see. Let me make this poll live. If you all have any trouble with the poll, please let me know and we'll figure this out some other way. And if you could, in the chat, if you want me to contact you at an email address, if you RSVP'd for this and used your email address that is your main one that you want me to email you at, that's good. But if there's another one you want me to email at, please use the chat. So I'm letting everybody complete this next meeting poll. And then with this information, I think if it's all comfortable with you, we'll create some sort of poll to figure out what time will work best for our next meeting. I like with some specific dates that we can choose from. Nobody wants to meet once a week?
And also I'll add too, it's just to let you guys know how simple it is, just how we just had this 1 hour meeting with just a couple of folks. This all it really takes. And just one person say, I can do this, I can make a list of this here, or I can donate this time here, or I can look into this for I'm in this department. So it's just really just coming together and then just kind of putting those pieces together, coming to meetings, having ideas and creativity of what we all want to make it or what we want it to look like. And then when we start formulating, everything become easier because we just jotting down what we already kind of experienced, went through, or would like to see happen either today or in the near future. So I just want to let y'all know it's not super time consuming or overwhelming in the planning stages.
And like Jermaine was saying, there's no rush. On my part anyway. I also want to see if anybody has any questions. Feel free to use the chat if you're more comfortable with that. So if you've completed the poll, I think that we can, you're welcome to stick around. You're welcome to leave now. I just want to thank you so much for attending and know that an email will be forthcoming. We do have a recording of this meeting if we need to refer back to it in the future. And just, I appreciate you so much, and I'm so excited to see what you all come up with. Feel free to reach out to us anytime. We're your adult learner success team. We're here for you and we're here to support you. So take care if you decide to leave now, and I'll stick around for a little bit after the meeting in case anybody wants to kind of have some more time.